Life's lessons. Real life stories. Life's lessons told by everyday people. Plug South.
First, let's do an introduction. Tell everybody who you are, say your name, and spell it.
Hey, I am Valerie Byers. That's Balerie. Byars. Valerie with a B, not Valerie. I'm 35 years old and I'm from Rome, Georgia. And I am here to talk about domestic violence. About 4 years ago, I started this organization called Lips UnChained. I named it that because of the silence of domestic violence. I lost my best friend, also known as my sister, about 4 years ago to a gunshot wound to the head. She was with her 2 kids in an apartment here in Rome, Georgia. And I had to endure that. That was a lot for me. Before that, I did not take domestic violence serious. It changed my life forever. And so about October, that happened in June. About October, I decided to stand. I decided to take a stand for domestic violence because of the silence of it. It wasn't to the court date that I even heard just how much pain she was in and how much abuse was really going on. And I also noticed very quickly how common it was and how all our friends could relate, how a lot of people came to me talking about how they can relate, how painful it is, domestic violence, and the shame. So I understand how hard it is to talk about it, but we have to start there. So I named it Lips UnChained to inspire that silent voice. That's why I started Lips UnChained, for the death of Crystal Vega.
So for people that don't understand or don't know, just the basic answer, what is domestic violence?
That's a good question because domestic violence is an intimate partner between 2 intimate people. It could be the same sex, but long as it's an intimate relationship, you don't have to be married. You don't have to have that title of go together. Just an intimate relationship. It's not family violence. It's not my sister put me out, my daddy was abusing me. That is family violence. That's a domestic situation, but that's not domestic violence. Domestic violence is 2 intimate partners and a physical, mental, verbal, emotional, psychological, mental abuse situation.
Do they have to be married?
No. You don't have to be married. You could be just kicking it. As long as you're intimate. That's the only definition of domestic violence. A lot of people don't like to admit that they're in a domestic violence relationship because it's embarrassing. But if you're in any kind of intimate relationship with another person, that's a domestic violence situation once stuff go bad. Even if you're not laying in a puddle of blood, even if you're not walking around with a black eye, mental abuse is sometimes worse than physical.
I did some research and they were saying that like a man demanding his girlfriend give her his password to his social media, stuff like that. And
that's kind of like mental abuse. The control, the lies, the promise, the broken promises. That's could be how it started. It could start in all type of ways. I'm not here to specify exactly what happens and how in a relationship as far as to act like I got all the answers. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the awareness. You know if you're in a dangerous situation. You know if you're not safe. I'm not here to make nobody leave. That's up to the decision that you make because I know how hard it is to leave. Let's be clear. It's more to it than just get out and leave. I understand that. But at some point in time, you got to choose yourself when it's in a dangerous situation and it's involving your kids to have trauma because of the things that you go through in your home.
What if it's financial? She just can't up and leave because, this nigga paying my car note.
Right. And that's the thing. That's where I want to come in as Lips UnChained. I want to be able to inspire someone to get out, but also give resources and answers for them to be able to. I want to fill in the gap for the things that hold them back. If it's babysitting, I want to fill in the gap for that. If it's financial stability, that you need to learn, because everybody need to stand on their own in every relationship, because if you don't, that could cause control, and control is what make people start going crazy and saying hurtful stuff. When you think somebody needs you, you'll find out all kind of stuff about somebody. So I want to get people in a position to where they can always understand to stand on their own. I want to start with the teenagers, the younger generation. The things that you're not going to grow up and people teach you. The stuff that might hit you when you get older. And then if you heard it before, you're likely to make better decisions about it. So if you're in a situation and you can pretty much tell that people going to abuse you by the way that you need them, then don't need them. Boss up. You don't have to leave today, but if you know the person that pay your car note, you got to get hit in the face just for them to pay it, then next month you need to be having a plan.
I mean, but it's deeper than that. A lot of people don't have credit, and a lot of things will get stripped from them.
Well, that's where you need to learn and read and get to the point where you can depend on yourself, because just because you depend on someone don't mean you take the abuse that come with it. You can't do that. I don't care how good it is. At some point, you got to be willing to hit rock bottom and choose yourself. It's resources out here. If it's about mental health reasons where you can't keep a job, I got resources for that. I can work with Briggs and Associates, and they'll get you a personal job for mental health where you only work by yourself. It's answers. It's answers out here. It's just a job, career place that help with mental health when you have bad anxiety and you can't work around people because of what you've been through. It's answers for the situations that you think you can't do. It's answers.
Talk to somebody, reach out.
But you won't know that if you don't unchain your lips. You don't have to necessarily come break down every word of what he did, who did it, how. I'm not here for none of that. I'm here for when you say, I need help. I need help. Just because it's called Lips Unchained don't mean I need to know his name, his birthday, where he live at. I don't call the police. I'm not here for none of that. That's up to you. I can't make nobody make a decision to leave a partner. I don't want to do that. That's not my place. If you couldn't do that for your kids that was crying when they heard you getting choked out, you can't do that for me. I don't expect you to. But I will open my mouth and spread enough awareness for you to say, I choose me. I choose me. I'm going to stand. Nobody's going to be able to keep hurting me. Nobody's going to be able to keep tearing me down. I'm going to get in a position to where I have the right to deal with a person whether I want to or not. That's very important, whether it's domestic violence or not. We in a lifetime right now that you need to protect your peace. I don't care who it's from. It could be your mama. If somebody is not adding into you mentally, inspiring you to do better and get through this thing called life, you don't need them.
I talked to some little young guys, and I done ran across some guys. I know guys that beat women.
Of course, a lot of them.
I grew up around. I got partners that I grew up with. They, I ain't gonna say chauvinistic, but it's like, ain't no woman gonna do me like that. Mm-hmm. And if she do, I'm gonna go upside her head. And they say that with authority.
And they mean it.
But here's the thing: in this culture nowadays, the women done turned into the players.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, these women put themselves in situations for that guy to go upside the head because they're using them, tricking them, and all this and that.
Some women even like it. Some people like to have sex and fight and have sex.
Yeah.
And it's not really. It's about the narcissistic behavior that you need to decide if you want to deal with. I'm not saying if you hit a person, you're just the worst person in the world. You may very well find a woman that like to be tapped upside her head. If that's what worked for y'all, kudos. But when it come a time where she can't even think straight or he can't even think straight because of what you're going through and you need answers to get out, then that's when you reach out. But I've helped several people and they don't stay gone. They go back because I understand how hard it is. I don't expect to say, hey, get out, and you say, okay, let's go, and you never talk to him again. It's going to be a struggle. Statistics say 7 times. 7 times study shows that a woman has got killed before they stop going back. 7 times. So I mean, I've helped them, and then I look up and I see them in Walmart, and I say, "Hey, how y'all doing? I'm praying for you." I don't judge you. I don't not answer again. I'm here every single time. I don't want you to enjoy hurting her or hurting him and still just, it's about wanting change, because that's what Lips Unchained is. It's not about raise your hand if you never did it before, come be with me. It's about the struggle of a relationship. Let's be clear. It's
you talk to the men?
Yes.
As much as the women?
I have helped abusers. They need it the most.
What do the men be saying when they say the reason why they jump on the
Like you said, it be toxic women. Women that come from trauma, from pain, that don't know how to love, just like the men don't know how to love. Women battle with that too. The hurt that they take with them from the last relationship. Now you looking at him, not trusting him because you've been hurt before. You got to heal.
Yeah.
You got to heal. You got to find yourself. You got to be willing to change some things that you know didn't work out last time. You can't keep taking the same cycle with you in every relationship expecting a change. You just can't do that. Take accountability, work on yourself, and fix that. And if you know you keep losing people and it's a pattern, it might just be you. It might just be you. So I have men come to me and say, "Valerie, I swear I haven't put my hands on her since your last event. I never thought about it that way."
But now a lot of black women from different little things on the internet, there's a consensus going on to say black women don't think they're wrong.
That's the
They're
problem.
always right.
We all wrong at something.
Very few black, well, I ain't gonna say, but very few women from the different, I'm not gonna mention their name on the podcast, because I was trying to do some research on this. And a lot of women, I ain't just trying to say like it's the woman's fault.
I know.
But a lot of times they know how to push that man button.
They do. We do. We talk, and I'm guilty. My mouth go crazy when you done hurt me.
Because that's the only way. Is that the only
That's
way?
the only way because I'm not gonna put my hands on nobody. But I know exactly what to say to tear you down. And so what you have to do is learn those triggers so you can stay away from people that bring it out of you.
That's the key word. That's just like
those triggers. You can't
level.
stay with somebody that's gonna trick you off the streets or in a bad situation just because they deserved it. Right. Just because they hit you first. You are bringing something out of me that I didn't even know was in me. I can't rock with you right now. Yep. I got to go. I can't fix this. I don't want to no more. I'm throwing in the towel. When I come around you, I turn into something I'm not. You got to understand that. You got to understand that, and you got to get away from it. Or it's going to only take one time before you keep letting somebody come at you till you blow. That's a natural reaction. Right. That's why I'm not here only for people that has never hit nobody. For the most part, every one of us has put our hands on each other, or verbally abused each other, or mentally abused each other, lies, cheated on. We all been through that. So it's about what you want to handle and what your peace can take for you to be able to wake up and start your day without being miserable. Because the one thing, if everybody want love, they can say what they want to say. Everybody wants somebody that they can call on, that they can count on. If they don't, it's because they just went through that much pain. Right. It's not because they just ain't never wanted it. So for you to choose this person into your life, you can't choose your family. They just there. But for you to choose this person into your life, into your home, into your bed, around your kids, and then they completely flip and become somebody else that you thought they was, actions speak way louder than words. And you don't get to piss on me and tell me it's raining. And after so long, you can't let someone that's mentally abusing you hurt you to the point where they trick you. You see they not doing what they said. You see it's not adding up. You got to make sure y'all both want the same thing. You can't want a relationship when this man is telling you that's not what he wants. You can't say okay and then go sleep with him and get used, but then turn up because he's not giving you what you want when he made that clear. Those are situations you putting yourself in. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Stop lying. If we want to mess with you, we're going to mess with you regardless. Just be real.
What's the number one thing you come across with as far as a man and a woman being violent towards each other?
The biggest thing I hear is drugs being involved. Substance misuse costs a lot of it. They get high, they like to fight, it turn them into somebody else. It turn them into a whole nother person. And a lot of people stay because they like, well, he only do that when he drink or he only do that when he smoke. It's still abuse. And it can still take that one time for you bump your head and you can't get back up, or before they pull a gun out and you gone. It's still abuse. Control. He didn't want me to work. He moved me away from my family. I don't have nobody. I don't have nobody. He know I don't have nobody. He know I need him to pay my car. Like you said, pay your car. You can't put yourself in a position to where someone that's abusive know that you need them. You can't do that. You bringing pain on yourself. You can't trust them. How can you rely on them? And you can't even trust them.
Man, do you tell men about, how to spot certain females that's gonna make you?
Men is harder to get to because they men. They got this, this, I'm the man, I don't need this.
Right,
you can't tell me that. Even I can't. Even if I catch them and I can talk to them like me and you talking, then they listen and they be like, yeah, B, you telling the truth. But it's harder to talk to men because they hide how they really feel. And if a woman is abusing them, they wouldn't dare say that because they that man, right? But they keep dealing with it to the point where you look up and now you in the paper for abuse and nobody don't even know you've been getting abused the whole time and didn't even say nothing. Or you keep putting yourself in situations where a woman is your trigger.
How often do you see the woman abusing the man?
I see it all the time. I see it all the time.
It's a whole total different.
It's more, as far as killing, it's the man. Men have more statistics of killing women, but women is more abusive till it get to that point. Or sometimes women is just toxic, treacherous, conniving, sneaky, vindictive. It's the same qualities. It's not about women versus men. It's about the individual personality that's bringing the worst out of you, or that's showing you their worst, and you're not accepting it. You want it to be something for whatever reason, for your own beneficial reason. They might got the money, and you want to keep dealing with them and taking it because you need them. Whatever the case is, just figure out if it's worth it. And if it's not, that's when you call Lips Unchained. Because if it is, then I mind my business. That's your business. I don't never judge nobody. A lot of people think because people say my name is, I called the police, I pulled them away, I told them do this, do this. I can't tell nobody to do nothing. But I can give you a list of resources for everything you say you need to choose yourself.
At what point does it get to that they need to call you or reach out to you?
Before they just have to leave, because we need to get things in order. You need an exit plan. You need to think about it while you're in the process. You need to make plans ahead of time. You don't need to wait till you have to leave today, because we have shelters, we have resources that you're not the only one getting abused. Right. It's not a definite yes every single time. You may have to wait till next week. And what if you can't? What if you can't? Keep a paper trail. If you're just not going to call the police, keep a paper trail so that when and if you need somebody to defend you, we'll be there for you. Email it.
What do you mean a paper trail?
A paper trail of your abuse, what date, what he did to you, how.
Like a little journal or something?
Yeah, write it down. It sounds crazy, but when my sister was killed, I couldn't even speak for her because I never knew. That's why I call it Lips Unchained. So regardless if you leave or not, tell somebody. Tell somebody you're not okay. Tell somebody, it don't have to necessarily be me. Trust somebody enough to say, hey, I'm going through this. I'm not okay. I'm scared. So that if it happened, guess what? If they got to pay the attorney, they could very well get off. And nobody knows because you didn't open your mouth. It get deeper than you just not getting out. Yeah, document, tell your best friend. She might hate you every time you tell her, but she'll appreciate to say, hey, he hurt her. Y'all need to check into him. Last week he did this, or she did this, you need.
So that taking pictures of like bruises and scratches and stuff.
That is something. Take it. Even if you don't have the strength to tell it today, take it. But when you allow a man to know that you know he beating you and you call the police and they come and you lie, or you go to the ambulance and you lie and you go to the hospital, you come back and you fell down the steps and you did, how is he gonna stop hurting you knowing you're not gonna tell it? That would be hard for anybody to do. If I know I'm gonna get away with it, I might do it a couple more times.
I always thought that only reason I kicked your ass because I love you. I used to hear that from guys back in the day. You know, quit making me do this to you.
Love is a
I used to hear that
word.
a few times too now.
Love is a word that just goes so many different ways, Bone. Love to some people is completely different than what love is to me. Love could be off survival. That could be their way of showing you that's how they love. It could be a cycle. They could have got beat when they was growing up. Some people don't even know how to love you because they never experienced it. They never gave it's not to us that don't go through things, it's a proper way to love. But some people do stuff and treat you with only the stuff that they've been exposed to. And yeah, they love you. Just because somebody put their hands on you do not mean they don't love you. But it's just not the proper healthy love. Love is
Africans, they came from over there and over here, and they get over here, and this is what we do.
That's what they do, yeah.
Have you ever dealt with that? As far as, you know, they get over here and our culture is different than theirs,
and they do
you
it.
have to tell the woman that, hey, you ain't allowed to do that over here.
I haven't ran into that, but I have ran into a lot of women that don't think domestic violence is a problem because they about that life. We gonna hit. That's what we do. And that's your problem. I'm serious. I would be crazy if I thought nobody hit each other. But when it come a point in your life where you don't want to live like that no more, you got support. You got help, you got answers. I don't care where you come from. Yeah, I don't care what you've been doing for 30 years. When you look in the mirror and you say, I'm tired of this, you got answers. I'm not here to say how long you been getting beat. Well, are you sure? Are you this? I'm going to make sure you're sure before I waste my time. Don't get me wrong. And I'm going to ask you to think about it also. And I'm not here for you to call me personally and I come pick you up. That's not how it works. It's steps to take. If drugs is involved, you need to be in a clean state of mind. You need to go to detox. I need to be able to get to you mentally so that we can make the correct decisions for you to move forward. I can't do nothing when you've been on drugs and y'all fight and that's what you do. Then when you don't have the money for the high, you going to go back. And I can't work like that. It got to make sense. It's for people that's serious. Yeah, I get people all the time that say they won't help just because they mad today. And then they don't want to do what it takes. You got to be ready to do the work when you call me. Let me say that too. I'm not just a phone number. Because I can help you. I really can, but you got to do the work. We got to start from the bottom. You got to be honest. You got to take accountability because it's a certain type of mental health that you're going to have after abuse, whether it started with you or came from where you're going from.
Would that be classified as mental health?
Yes, of course. Depression, schizophrenic.
That's what causes the violence.
Most of the time. A lot of times I hear a lot of stories that says the same thing. Schizophrenia is a big one.
What about manic depression?
Oh, yes. Depression. And you want somebody that wants something from you that you just ain't got it to give. You don't understand why you're not good enough. You're suffering with demons and fighting demons and self-medicating with drugs. And they don't even know this side of you because you don't know how to communicate it. But now they just keep at you about what you said, but you're not at that state no more to even fulfill your promises. Now you want to fight. Or because you have some mental health narcissistic issues and you're doing wrong and you don't like to be confronted. Now you want to fight because you cheating. Figure out your mental health. Start there. Everybody got a mental health. That word is so everybody be so embarrassed of that word. We all got a mental health. Everybody suffer with something. Right. That's why it's important to be with somebody that's going to bring the best out of you, your energy, and mentally feed me with positivity. It's not the craziest thing in the world to be with somebody that respect you. Quit going for love. Go for respect.
Well, I mean, what about the women that I done messed up? I got 5 kids by 4 different dudes, and You know,
It's somebody
I'm
for
kinda
everybody.
shape and this and that. Ain't nobody gonna want me.
It's somebody for everybody, and if it's not, that's when you gotta choose yourself. I'd rather be by myself than you gonna come in here with my 5 kids and my depression and hit on me. I'm losing all the way around. How could you be any good for me if I'm not even feeling where I need to feel in my life to be happy, and you tearing me down?
What about which one is? I know they're both probably the same, but which one is worse? Him not beating on you, but just you ain't shit, you ugly, don't nobody want
I
you.
would say for me,
Like how Color Purple, how Danny Glover was doing.
I would
The
say for
verbal
me,
abuse.
and once again, I'm not here to act like I know the answer to every question. This is just us talking and my
Right.
opinion.
Right.
But for me, I would say mental abuse could be
Just as deadly.
just as detrimental, if not worse, because physical, at least you know he just don't care. He not far from you. But when you tell me you feel a certain type of way and then you take it back and you apologize and you come love on me and do more love than pain, and then I'm stuck because sometimes you good and then you got mood swings, bipolar, that's mental health, and today you okay but the weekend you flip. Now I done looked up and it's been 3 years done went by. We ain't bought that house. You ain't kept a job. You keep talking to me crazy when I haven't done anything wrong, accusing me of cheating when I ain't even talking to nobody. It's certain things that needs to be out in awareness about for people to realize, dang, this person might got a problem. They need to know that. We need to know that. It took me 2-3 relationships before I decided at the age of 35, I'm not going for none of that. I'm not going for it.
Were you ever in an abusive relationship?
Not physical. Nobody has never hit me in my face. I ain't ever even been in a fight with a woman. And that's why I say protect your peace. If you don't bring the energy around me that I need, I'm not calling you back. I'm not going out with you. We're not going anywhere. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm not saying I'm just completely, you got to be perfect, but you got to at least be able to protect yourself around me and don't bring no situations around us. So I don't deal with that type of pain. That's why I'm the perfect person probably for Lips Unchained, because I'm understanding, I'm logical, I'm not just this person where, oh, he don't love you, don't never talk to him again. I understand how hard it is, and I'm very forgiving. But what you're not going to be able to do is walk all over me and disrespect me, and I take up with, I'm not going to keep forgiving you till the apology just don't hold no more weight.
Right.
And you just keep being sorry, and ain't nothing what you saying do. Every apology you say to me better be for something different, for a level that we haven't even reached yet.
Right.
For us learning together and one of us messed up. But for you to do the things to hurt me today, when you saying you want to marry me and the actions that you're showing me is not a person that I should marry, I'm not living like that. I need you to say what you mean. I need you to mean what you say. I need us to both want the same thing. You got to have an understanding. It can't be lopsided. We need to have the same end goal for it to even work, because when we're not working towards that, I'll know that you're not serious, because that's not what you said. And then I'll go my separate ways, no matter how bad it hurt. I'll cry myself to sleep all night if I have to, but I'm going to choose myself.
But I mean, we still need to do some education with the women, because a lot of them go off for the guys with the blinged out,
Oh, yeah.
dressed, dripped out or whatever, looking good, smelling good, got a sweet talk game.
I mean,
Yeah.
he could very well be all that. But, I mean, he could. It's about what they're showing you versus what they're saying. If he blinged out and he dripped up and he say he about you and you feel that and he walk on that,
money.
he flashing that money, but he about you and he really mean that and he makes you feel that, then go for it. But if he flashing that money and that's what you keep choosing and you ain't never got out of it what you wanted, you might need to go for somebody that got their pants up.
Well, then, there's a big thing, it's a common thing to be a side chick.
That's what I'm saying,
our
though.
culture is doing a whole bunch of stuff, confusing each side. You know what I'm saying?
That for teachers on. Everybody can do whatever they want.
Polygamy.
Polygamy. If that's what you and your wife want, go for it. If that don't bring pain in your life, go for it. I'm not here to tell nobody how to be in a relationship.
But it causes, my point is that confuses the whole gambit of stuff.
Yeah.
With the relationship thing. I mean, with the younger generation, what society is trying to make us accept. You know, I'm from the old school, you know, and like I used to like my partners. We never looked at their girlfriend. Once we knew that was their woman, we never looked at her, thought about it. But now I've seen it back. You know, I be around a lot of younger folks.
Right.
So a lot of times, as soon as these dudes turn their head, they best friend in her ear.
It got to be with who you choose.
You know, it's like I just been confused about a lot of stuff. And it's like I've asked why are y'all doing this?
Well, because toxic is winning right now.
And then when you see somebody jump on somebody, they'll normalize it.
It's normalized. Toxic like, normalized. Side chick is normalized.
Oh,
Deadbeats has been normalized. But that don't make it right. Just
I think
because
the women need to tell the guy in the beginning, look, this is what I like. This is,
honesty, yes.
I don't care about your money, you know. Yeah, I need some help. Who ain't gonna turn it down? But you know, a lot of it's got like a bunch of facades. These guys got these facades. And everybody want to be the player.
Everybody.
A pimp.
And everybody, it's probably somebody right now watching this saying, she need to shut up. That's so whack. But it's real. Like, if you don't want to live like that and you don't want to, and it sounds crazy for you to actually meet somebody that's for you, then you just haven't got there yet. For me, I reached a point in my life where I don't have time for it no more. We just survived a whole pandemic.
Wow.
We just survived a whole pandemic. A couple years ago, we could go to the club and have fun, and you cheat on me, I forgive you. But today, I'm 36 years old. I want to get married, and I want my husband to really respect me, not have me out here looking like a fool. I'm not finna be in a relationship for 10 years and it's bad and babies are being made and then I marry him. No, I have standards. You got to meet my requirements before we move forward. And when it's not what we said we both want, we need to nip it in the bud and address it.
You go your way.
And you go mine. Look, this is what I thought we was doing. Apparently you ain't on that. I'ma holler at you. We can be friends, but you don't get to stay in a title when you're not worthy of being there. Right. You don't have to leave forever, but you're not gonna be up here. You might have to trickle down to here. I might have to call you when I want to, but you're not finna be in the house with my kids when I know you're not marriage material. You're not.
So here's the thing. What happens when somebody calls you? They reach out to you. Blah blah blah. What's the first thing they need to know before they call you?
They can call me to find out what they need to know. They might not even know what to say. You can call me and we'll figure it out together. Tell me your situation. Tell me what you want, and we'll figure it out together. You might just want me to listen.
Could they text you?
They can text me. They can't call my personal phone, but I do have a Lips UnChained number. I'm going to give that to you. It's available 24/7. You can call, you can text, you can say, hey, I just want to know advice. How's it at the shelter? How's it if I leave? Where do I go from here? I can't really tell the specifics.
Give them a blueprint of the direction that
right. And we can figure it out. It's not like I know every single answer to your question, but we can get to the bottom of it. I can have a whole team of people, specialists that you can talk to. We got counselors. You can get whatever you need. Is answers out there. You might call me and say, I don't know what to do. Let me tell you what's going on and you help me figure it out. I'm not going to tell you specifically A or B, but by what you tell me, we can figure something out. What do you need? Let's fix that. We can go in a pattern, in an order, and make a goal and achieve it together. Everything is honest and everything is support. The support you thought you never had when you was going through domestic violence. That's what Lips UnChained do.
All
not
right,
fight you.
Let's give us that phone number and we'll wrap this one up.
Okay, I don't know nobody's number by heart, so I'm going to look it up. Okay, but the Lips UnChained number is 706-413-9787.
All right. And I'll post the other ones up on the screen.
Post it on the screen, call it. I'm on Lips Unchained, yahoo.com, Lips Unchained Facebook, and Lips Unchained Instagram also. Inbox me anytime. It come directly to me. I answer all messages, and I'm always available. And if I can't get to you, oh yes. It's crazy because people ask me, how many people have you helped? How many people? I can't even begin to think. If I meet somebody, they always say, oh, you remember I talked to you such and such? And I hardly can remember, Bone, because it's just that many people.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It don't even matter.
It don't matter. I'm not here for that. I don't have to keep count. I'm doing God's work, and I'm just here to support people that think they're alone.
All right. Well, thank you, and we'll film another set.
Okay, thank you, Bone.
All right. Bye. Yeah.
Life's lessons. Real life stories. Life's lessons told by everyday people. Unplugged South.